Hello everyone! It's been a little while since I've sat in front of my camera and recorded a video. I think it's been about 2 months since I posted my last video on my channel, and I'm back. I am back from a little impromptu break from making videos. I decided to take a little bit of a break over the last month or so, not really planning to, but just kind of seeing how long I needed as a break. And the reason for that is because I'm pregnant. It feels so awkward to say that to a camera, but I am pregnant. I am 13 weeks into my pregnancy, so I'm nearly in my second trimester, and it's been a bit of a rough couple of months. I definitely wasn't prepared for just how tired and exhausted and sick and nauseous and all of the symptoms that you feel during pregnancy, during that first trimester, and it kind of took me by surprise. And at the beginning I thought I could just carry on making videos, planning content, but very quickly I just couldn't. I would come home from work at the end of a day of work, at the end of a 9 to 5, I would just about make dinner, and then I would fall asleep. And I would sleep until the next morning, like sometimes 12 hours of sleep in a day. And that meant my evenings were gone. And then it would come to the weekend, and again, I would just feel exhausted. If I managed to get the energy to start cleaning a room, for example, I'd get halfway through and then need to nap. As a result, I just needed to take it slow, to take a break, to just let my body tell me when I was ready to pick things back up. And so I haven't really been reading, mostly because I would open a book and then be asleep, but also because I've just been struggling to enjoy it. I think I'm in a big reading slump, and I think that naturally happens when big things happen in my life. I found that whenever, something really big happens in real life, reading is often the first thing to kind of be put to the side, which is a shame because it's the thing that I love doing. And I was having a conversation with Johnny, my husband, about this the other day, and how I was just feeling a little bit lost in my free time, particularly now I'm getting my energy back a little bit. And I realised that the reason I'm feeling lost is because I'm not doing the thing that I'm passionate about. And so I think having that realisation meant to me that I was ready to pick up this channel again, start making videos, and start getting back into reading. So that is what today's video is all about. I'm easing myself back into making videos by doing a little daily reading vlog, book vlog, about getting back into reading when you've had a bit of a reading slump, or when you've just sort of been falling a little bit out of love with reading. I really want to go to a bookshop. I really want to go and buy a new book. I haven't bought books since March, which was for my birthday. I got a few books for my birthday. I don't think I've accumulated a single book since then. And I'm just really in the mood for a fun, fast-paced, thrilling fantasy book. That's what I really want, a good, gripping fantasy read. So I don't have a particular book in mind, and I haven't done this for a while, for a long time actually, but I want to go to Waterstones and browse the fantasy section, read the blurbs, and just pick a book based on that. Maybe read a few pages in the bookshop and just take my time and pick a book at whim. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then this afternoon spend some time starting to read that and trying to get myself back into my love of reading. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I hope that you really enjoy. Go and grab yourself a comforting warm drink, or I mean, I don't actually have tea in here, I just have water, because tea and coffee were the first things to go in my food aversions, which is really sad because it's like I miss tea and coffee, like the feeling of having a cup of tea, but the thought of a cup of tea makes me really not want a cup of tea. So I'm drinking water out of a mug so that I can still feel like, you know, a little bit cozier. But anyway, go and grab yourself a comforting drink, get cozy, and I hope that you really enjoy this slow and gentle reading vlog, all about getting back into reading.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Gold birds, gold string, gold words, gold anything, golden, I follow only golden, golden, golden things. Golden, I follow only golden, golden, golden things.
I'm back from Waterstones, and the book that I decided to pick up was Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. It was between this book and another one, but I ended up going with this one because I saw that it was a duology and both of the books are out, I believe, whereas the other one was the first book in a series and it's the only book that's out at the moment. So I figured I'd go with something that I could read and finish. However, I then researched this book a little bit more and realised there's actually a spin-off to another series or another duology, and I'm really hoping that I can read this first I've read some things that say it's fine to read it without reading the other books, but I've also seen that it spoils the other books, or that you don't get as much of a rich depth to the characters. So I'm feeling a little bit annoyed that I did not research that properly when I was in the bookshop, but I think I'm just gonna read it anyway and give it a try, and if it's really confusing and I'm just really not getting into it, then I'll have to buy the other series. But I, for now, will just try and get on with this book. So from what I can tell about this book, it seems to be about 2 spies in Shanghai, and it's set around a time where Japan is trying to invade China, and it follows these 2 spies. I think it's inspired by, let me find the quote at the front of the book, Shakespeare's As You Like It, because there's a little quote at the front, and I'm pretty sure I heard that this was a Shakespeare-inspired retelling. So I'm kind of intrigued by it. I read the prologue in the bookshop and it sounded good to me. It sounded like the kind of thing that I want right now, which is not too complicated, kind of fun. Maybe it'll be predictable, I don't know. I get that impression from it, but I don't know if I'm judging it. I really don't know much about it at all, other than that people really like Chloe Gong and her writing. I just really hope that it's not going to be annoying that I have not read the other books, but I really don't want to go back and get my money back and get a different book, because Truro is half an hour's drive away and I bought this book to read this weekend, so I'm going to read it anyway, and see how I go. Other than going to work, I think that was the most energetic thing I've done for a couple of months, just going to a bookshop and to a cafe and spending a whole morning out. And as soon as I got home, I just felt like I might fall asleep. So I'm going to try and read as much as I can, without hopefully falling asleep. And I'll check in with you when I've read a bit of the book, and I'll let you know how it's going, whether I'm enjoying it and whether you can read it without having read the other books in the series before. So time to get cozy and do some reading.
I'll follow only golden, golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden things.
Hello everyone, so I'm going to start wrapping up this video, and I thought I would share with you how much of the book that I read and what my thoughts are so far. So I managed to read about 100 pages of Foul Lady Fortune, and I have mixed opinions at the moment. On the one hand, I think that it's enjoyable. I'm enjoying the story, and I like that there are so many different characters and perspectives and little side stories going on. I wasn't kind of expecting that from the synopsis on the back. My main issue is with the characters. I just don't feel any connection to any of the characters in this story so far. Maybe connection's not the right word, but I don't feel for any of the characters. I don't feel like I'm rooting for someone or really understand anyone. And I'm only 100 pages in, so that might still be to come, but usually by 100 pages into a story, I would have some kind of connection to at least one of the characters. On Goodreads, the author wrote a little description of the book before it came out and said in that you can go into this book without having read the previous books because everything is explained. And I think that might be the issue I'm having, in that the backstory is being explained rather than experienced, and I feel like I'm just being given a catch up rather than actually going through the emotions of what has brought the characters to where they are now. And so I do feel like even though I'm not missing out on the story, I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of character development that I would have got in the previous books. But obviously I don't know how much these characters were in the previous books, if they were just really side characters or if some of them were even in there at all. I don't know. But I think that's the struggle I'm having at the moment, is that I'm not really rooting for or really believing in the characters at the moment. However, I am going to carry on reading the book because my biggest struggle at the moment with being in a bit of a reading slump is that I'm just not finishing any books. I'm getting, 100, 200, 300 pages through and then feeling tired or exhausted, or just that my brain wants to move on to something else. And it's meant that I've got like 6 books on the go and I haven't finished any of them for 2 months. So I'm going to be working on that a little bit and trying to just finish the books that I read rather than keeping on moving to other books. So I'm going to try and finish this book before moving on to buying any new books or reading any more books. But I thought I would share 2 of the books that I've been reading on and off mostly over the last couple of months. The first one is Nocturnes by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is his collection of short stories and it's the last fictional works of his that I have left to read. I have read 3.5 of the 5 short stories so far, so I only have 1.5 left. And I've had kind of mixed feelings about this book, which I think is quite normal with a short story collection. I love Ishiguro's storytelling. Like, even if I don't really enjoy the story that he's telling, I'm still somehow engrossed by what he's talking about, even if it feels like he's talking about nothing. And so I definitely want to finish this. I just have mixed feelings about it. I'm not loving it, but I'm also not hating it. It's just kind of meh, in the middle at the moment. And then the other book that I've been reading on and off is House of Many Ways by Diana Wynne Jones, which is the 3rd book in the kind of Howl's Moving Castle world. And I was really enjoying this book. I didn't put it down because I wasn't enjoying it. It's been really good, actually. I would say more enjoyable than the second one, but obviously not as enjoyable as Howl's Moving Castle. But this is one that I also want to finish before moving on to new books. So these are my books I want to finish over the next couple of weeks, hopefully, before I start moving on to other books. And I'm really hoping that finishing those will give me the boost that I need to kind of fall back in love with reading again, because I find that if I have too many half-read books, I just can't enjoy very much what I'm reading because I'm thinking about everything that I need to finish, which is a problem. But that's how I'm feeling at the moment. So those are my reading plans. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for sticking around on this channel, and for all of the people who've messaged or commented saying that you've been missing my videos. It's meant a lot, but I am back. I'm hoping to post much more regularly now. I'm not going to say that I'm definitely going to do once a week, because I feel like I'm going to need to see how I go, but I'm going to be trying to post much more regularly than I have been. I hope you enjoyed this short little reading slash getting back into reading vlog, and I will see you very soon with another video.
Golden, golden things. Golden, I follow woman.